710 of Lucas Tigers and Bronze Oh My, the best sports card podcast in the world. And it's thanks to all you guys. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing. And if you guys think that we do a good job, we haven't spent $1 on marketing. Tell a friend.
Crazy, right?
Tell a friend, share it. We love when you guys repost some of the content or comment on our Instagram videos and all that. So thank you from the bottom of my heart to all you guys out there listening and watching for supporting us from day one. Thank you.
Guys, Andrew came on today, and just so you know, we've had a couple of business calls today. It's been a really great day. We'll have some details soon. It looks like the Tiger NFT Luca Nation cigar event is coming together in a really nice way, thanks to some of our partners, some of our friends. So that looks really nice. And we had a couple calls with some sponsors, and we just did an hour and 10-minute show selling cards, or should I say basically giving cards away. Andrew losing money on whatnot. But we're having some fun there and, tapping into, new audience there and, giving cards away and stuff. So if you haven't checked us out there, pretty much every day, 5 to 6 o'clock Eastern time, Andrew's on under the Luca Nation name. That's our brand there on whatnot. Give us a look there. Always giveaways. We'll try to do a giveaway tomorrow. Maybe a Steph Curry, something nice. Something that's timely. We'll post about it as well. And it's just like a bonus show. I do my shtick when I can join. If I'm not sitting at my desk, if I'm around, I'll join. And people will like my salt and pepper hair today, so that's nice. I get all kinds of funny stuff going on in the comments.
You have some grays?
Dude, I'm
some
definitely on the
grays?
sides. I didn't have any before I met you. So Andrew came on today and said 710. We got 710 episodes. What are we going to talk about? And I said, don't worry about it. I got it. We're good. We're going to talk about it. No problem. He's like, what are we talking about? Every day, it's pretty much the same thing. We are 23 months to the day doing this every day today. And it's like, what are we going to talk about? So don't worry. 710, because of 710, which is the most difficult split to pick up in bowling, we're going to do an entire episode today on bowling.
You're foolish.
I'm just
I have a few topics.
Clearly, we're not going to talk about bowling. We just lost half the audience. Yeah, what do you got, man? What do you want to talk about? You want to talk about your prediction of the Avs being one game closer to winning the Stanley Cup, the Avalanche?
I would say, and tell me if I'm wrong or right, the Warriors were plus 240 when they were down 2-1, right? And you were saying, wait a second, more experience, they could come back. 240 plus 240 is such a great time to take them. I'm going to use that same logic. Down 1-0, you have the Lightning, who are the much more experienced team.
The Lightning has had much more success in the playoffs over the last couple of years. They have what I think is the better offensive line. We can get back to the Warriors and the Celtics too. I thought you were going to take me right off hockey. But if you watched that game last night, all right, the Avalanche, it shouldn't have been as close. It shouldn't have been an overtime 4-3 win. And I know you watched it. We were talking. You were going to watch the game. You watched the game, bro, but you probably didn't watch it. You told me you were going to watch it. If I told you what
I actually watched last night, you'd think I'm a weird fucking dude.
Well, I already think you're a weird dude, so why don't you tell the audience now? We can't leave it there. What'd you watch instead?
Netflix has this new series. I thought of you, actually. I've seen it before, but it's new on Netflix, I think. It's on the World Trade Center.
Okay.
It's like a 5 or 6 episode series from the bombings to – not the bombings. I mean,
well, there was a bombing in 93.
From that to like when we went to the war in Afghanistan, to we went to the war in Iraq, to we went back to to the war in Afghanistan. So all of that. I don't know why I'm watching it, but like once you
said you were gonna watch a hockey game.
I did, but it's so like you can't just hit pause on one of those. Like once you're in it. And I love history and I love learning the ins and outs of things. So that's what I've been watching.
All right. Well, if you watched the hockey game last night, it was 3-1 Avs after the first, and in a 48-second period. This happens in hockey. The Tampa Bay scored 2 goals. Just mental breakdown, just little lapse by the Avalanche. Was 3-3. Played a very even, third period. The Avalanche did really handled their penalty killing very well. Not a lot of shots on goal from Tampa. Obviously the home cooking was great, and overtime it took them, like less than 2 minutes. They weren't on power play anymore. Power play ended was full strength, and just a great shot. The Avalanche look like.
Do you understand strategy in hockey?
Yeah, I mean it's similar to soccer, by the way.
people have said that, and I don't agree because no one in soccer just stands in front of the goalie and gets balls rifled at him.
No, that happens in the locker room after the game. Bum, 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 at least from what you told me. So, but anyway, this is the. I mean, look, you want to get your balls rifled. It's what happens. No, but I'll tell you, it's no, I got too far. I went too far.
Honestly, I'm not sure you went far enough because the locker rooms are weird.
All right, I don't want to hear about it.
The weirder they are.
We don't want to hear about that shit. No, but listen, what I'll tell you is it was a great game, and why I would not go against the Avs, even though, yes, Tampa is a great team and they're, repeat champs and, 3 straight great years and they have some great players, is I think Colorado's undefeated on the road also this playoffs. I think they're 7-0 on the road. I think they were 5-2 and maybe after last night 6-2 now at home. Like they just seem to be that team this year, which is why I know you picked them as the playoffs began. Like before they even won a game, before there were any sweeps, before they just basically walked their way to a 1-game lead in the Stanley Cup Final, you nailed it.
In 2020, you gave the play Austin Matthews. They said Colorado Avalanche are going to win the Stanley Cup in 2022.
That's it, man. I mean, so the Avalanche, that's the deal. But I like where you're going with the betting, right? Because, yes, Tampa Bay now, the odds have really switched, and if they go and happen to win game 2 now, I mean, it was a 4-3 overtime game. It was a pretty even game. I like what you're saying. And guys, this is a fun thing if you'll allow me 2 minutes. It is what I do. It is the contrarian that you call me without getting too crazy into it. It's why I buy LeBron now when everybody else is selling their LeBron cards. It's why when the Celtics were up 2-1, I came on here and said, bet the Warriors, sell your Tatum cards. Because if you could sell right now when they're up 2-1, it has the championship baked in. People think he's going to win. At least the risk-reward there, and I'm going to keep saying that, risk-reward, right? You had almost all the reward already baked in at 2-1. Sell your Tatum, right? That's what I was saying. Not I hate Tatum. Not he should stop texting Kobe. Yes, all that stuff gets eyeballs, and then you can listen to what I'm saying about, hey, right now, the Warriors win game 4, and it's back to even, and all of a sudden, the odds flip-flop, right? And then they win game 5, and all of it's a problem. But here's what's fun.
I just had a thought, and not to cut you off. Do you think what hurts us as investors, and a lot of this hobby is male dominant, and we know that males are typically more inclined to be gamblers, and we have a propensity to want to be right. Like even after the show, I said, I hate losing. I like being right. Mm-hmm. Do you think that it kind of almost is an inverse relationship that like you want to be right? And that's why when Bitcoin is at 65, you want to lay on and catch that trend versus when it's at 20, you're like, whoa, I'm wrong if I bet on it.
Wouldn't you like to be right no matter what? So, I mean, like, if you were able to get 2-1 odds on the Warriors when it was 2-1, right? Not minus 240, 250, because that was what the Celtics were, but the odds on the Warriors plus 200, basically. I mean, it's probably plus 180, but let's just, for the sake of what we're doing now, say plus 200. So you were able to bet your money and double it if the Warriors won. Right now, if you did that, you could probably do the same thing on the Celtics. If you were nervous about your bet, you know what I mean? You could probably now hedge the other way and get plus 210 or whatever the heck it is the other way and win. You might not win as much, but you're basically, by playing it that way, we're going to talk about risk reward. I'll summarize it for the card folks here. I don't know what the odds are on the Celtics right now, but let's say it's, I don't know what it is, plus 2 something. What do you get right now? Because it would be great to know. If they're plus 300.
No, wait, I'll say plus 350. It's probably where I'd put it.
So, I mean, if you were to bet the Warriors at plus 200 or plus 210 or whatever it was, and now you're betting the Celtics at plus 350, you can't lose. You're betting both sides of the coin. It doesn't matter who wins. You could root for the Celtics. You could have been right. It was a hedge. You don't even think about that, right? Because now, like, you bet $200. You bet $100 on the Warriors at plus 210. You bet $100 on the Celtics plus 350. The Celtics win. You cash in 350 for a 200. Warriors win. You cash in 210 for a $200 bet. You can't lose. It's an interesting thing, right? People don't do that. My way of doing it for the cards is today, right now, before Game 6. I would have told anybody who asked to buy Tatum cards.
If you're day trading.
Not just for day trading, right? Because the risk reward is there. Right now, people don't think he's going to win this championship. All right? So they're selling. The people who are holding him are overreacting and selling his card because they think he's going to lose now. The odds are not with him. He's going to win. Right? So you can get a bargain. And you know what? You have the potential reward that maybe he wins now. Maybe they come out tonight on fire, they win game 6 at home, and they steal game 7, and you were able to get him at a bargain. But even if you don't, because the championship that was baked in is now baked out, and all of it is out, you're getting his cards cheaper than they were days ago, weeks ago, months ago. And if he loses, fine. The loss is already baked into those cards. You get to hold them until, the next thing happens. They sign somebody else, the offseason, whatever it is.
And that has similarities to LeBron, if we go even bigger.
Same thing.
That was already baked in. And to Netflix, who's missed earnings.
Yep. Coinbase,
right?
Who's being dragged down 85%, back down under 50, I think, today. Remember you were saying you buy it at 40, went back up to 60 after you said to buy it. But I think it went under 50 again with today's pull down.
Right. Yep.
Because of the craziness in crypto, whereas Coinbase is one of those things where as long as you believe crypto in some form or fashion is going to be here and people are going to be trading it one way or another, Coinbase is a play on buying the pickaxes and the gold pans instead of the gold itself in the gold rush, right? So it's the same thing. It's contrarian.
It's very fascinating, right? Because people loved, we're just using one example, but like we try to use an example in the real world that you could apply to different examples. That's kind of what we try to do. People wanted to buy it right here at 250, right?
Yep.
This is when it IPO'd 290-ish, and then it shot up to, I think it went even as high as, I think it was as high as 300 at one point.
Yep.
But yet when it's a fifth of the price, yet the same organizational structure, it's the same thing as your LeBron refractor. People wanted to buy that LeBron refractor at 200K. But now when it's at 50, it's like,
so it's got to be the right asset also, guys, right? We're talking about Tatum. We're talking about Curry. We're talking about LeBron. We're talking about shares and companies. Be careful you don't apply this to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander or Lukas Dort or, somebody else who was high and is now 80% down. And you're like, wow, it's a bargain. All right, well, what's bringing that back up? The pop is continuing to increase on those. Those are more, gamble plays. These, we're talking about just contrarian plays. It all kind of goes back to the Buffett of, be fearful when others are being greedy. That's LeBron at 200,000. And be fearful and be greedy when others are fearful. That's LeBron at 50 or 60 or 70.
So it's funny. I was listening to Ed Milet a few weeks ago. That was the book that I was telling you guys about, maybe a few days ago. The books are here, by the way. So we'll think about a way to give them out. So there's 5 books that I'm going to give away. It's called Ed Milet, One More. And I'm loving the book. But he was talking about how in times like this, and he's been through a few of these, he's 51 years old, $500 million net worth. He's probably not going to be able to time his entry, right? But what he can time is knowing who the tenant is. So, for example, he bought a piece of property that has Walgreens as a tenant, and he feels more safe that even if that property, let's say he bought it for 10 mil, it becomes a $7.5 million property. Fine, he didn't time his entry, he didn't get to the bottom, but the tenant in it is trustworthy. Similar, different.
Yeah. You can't always get it right, but you can kind of hedge your bet. I think is what he's saying there. He'll know, look, if the market takes a downturn, my asset might be worth 30% less. But if I have a tenant in it that I know is still going to be paying my rent, that lets me sleep at night. Whereas if I buy something that, the tenant, when the asset goes down 30%, maybe their business goes down 30% and they're also now defaulting on the lease. Now you're getting crushed twice. So I understand.
That's the same example as SGA. It's okay, maybe the card market takes another 30-40% dip. We don't know. But would you rather be holding a LeBron who has his career and reputation basically set, or someone that you're gambling with like Colin Sexton? No offense, Colin.
Yeah. It is 100% accurate. And the only other little fun, because we're throwing out Warren Buffett sayings, right? Talking about like he's not going to time the market. Time in the market is what you should be trying to do, not timing the market, right? So it's one of those things, right? We talk about just, pan out, wider lens, wider view. There will be times where the market is up. There will be times when the market is down. But if you take a long enough approach on these things, those blue chip cards, those things you're buying, they should be better. Which is, by the way, even it doesn't have to just be blue chip. It can be Tatum, right? If you buy Tatum right now, sure, you could flip it in 3-4 days if he happens to win the next 2 games, and you're selling it for a lot more if that was your goal. But even if you don't, you're buying now when no one's expecting him to win. So you have that potential upside if he does win, because he's not done yet, right? They may still win. Who the hell knows?
One game.
But even if he doesn't win, if he doesn't, he's still one of the top young players in the league by far. And you're buying now at a time where people are trying to exit because they bought in hoping he was going to win a championship and now think he's not going to. So it's a
They're
contrarian
really well
play.
positioned for the future. They're 2 games away from a championship. Let's not forget that. And they went through a juggernaut of the East. Like, this is not the same East. You beat the Bucks with the champions, the Nets with Durant and Kyrie, and the number 1 team in the Heat. And that team's positioned to do some things in the future. So, and the record off a loss is also incredible. I do think the Warriors close it out, but I mean, I don't want to make predictions. It's been a really fantastic series. I'm sort of happy the Heat didn't win. I
said Dubs and 6 to basically every direct message I got about Tatum and stuff. I've been Dubs and 6 has been my line. But hey, we'll see. We'll see if Game 6 Clay shows up tonight. We shall
what
see.
Else?
It's bowling. So you want to talk about a little 7-10 splits?
No, I mean, getting a ton of cards back from SGC. This last sub we got back in 8 days. And my hunch, just my intuition says, as other companies are flailing, they're kind of, kicking into gear. And I think the 8 days might become the norm and not the exception. 8 days from the time we hand delivered to pick them up. Today we had Dave's cards, for example. He trusted us to consign his cards. Cage was saying we gave these cards away. Well, the Pulisic in an SGC slab actually outsold a PSA 10. So it's really, really fun. We're having a ton of fun on Whatnot. If you guys want your cards consigned, if you guys want cards graded by SGC, you guys know where to reach me. Shoot me a DM. We'll happily walk you through that.
Andrew's one-stop white glove shop.
It literally is. I mean, Bless and Break sent me 2 cards. Both got SGC 10s.
I saw him post those today.
10
auto. That was nice.
10 auto. He's moving to Korea in a little bit. He's like, wow, got these cards back 8 days. He's going to have them over the weekend. It's fun, man. We know 90% of our community on a first name basis. That's really cool. We've sold more Tiger NFTs the last 3 days. It's incredible. And I think it's a combination of things. I think, one, it's amazing to have you guys out there kind of as like our cheerleaders, because you really do believe in what we're doing. And you're grateful now that you're getting your SGC slabs back. You're like, this is kind of sick. I paid X and now I have more value than I even spent on them. And I get to support 2 awesome guys. So thank you guys. Today was a real development that I'll tell you the truth, I didn't expect, but I'm really excited that it's happening this way. For Cigar Night at National, there will be more details. I think you guys will be blown away by what we had discussed today. So I'll leave it like that.
You were excited.
I was very giddy. I was actually giddy. Oh, yeah. LeBron, Kobe, Jordan, or Giddy. That's what someone said in Whatnot.
That was like Dirk. Dirk was in there, be fair. Dirk, Luka, LeBron, or Giddy. People like Giddy. You're Giddy.
I was giddy because, dude, I mean, you guys out there that run businesses are trying to create a business to be more, how much it's like the rocket leaving orbit. Most of its force is spent getting out of orbit, right, Cage?
That's true.
That's a business. Like, and the thing is, you're trying to push it, and it rolls back down on you. You push it. And when you start to
Sisyphus.
you start to feel the fruits of your labor, and you also feel that, you've given a lot to other people. You've tried your best to do right by them, and that comes back to you. That's also It's an empowering feeling. It gives you energy.
Listen, keep rolling that rock up the hill. Eventually, it'll get to the top. That's the way it works.
And then what happens when it gets to the top? Do we like roll it? Like
Depends.
What that?
Do you want
another hill?
Do you want to yell, "Watch out" on the people on the other side, or you just want to watch
Victory?
Roll over? That's it from Northumbria.
You know a little bit about everything. You literally know everything about everything. I don't understand.
Victory! Little Johnny Drama, man. It's Entourage. I know that. Easy stuff. Easy stuff. And you got a lot of Johnny Drama in you. That's good. You got a little E. You got a little, turtle. You got a little all of it.
I gotta tell you, people loved our episode yesterday. All the banter, people enjoy it. They know it's like tongue in cheek. It's not serious. So thank you guys for the comments. It's hilarious.
What read a comment. What was the comment? I don't look at the comments. I'm too busy helping you on Whatnot. I haven't got my steps today. Let me tell you that. I gotta get some steps in, man. I gotta do some steps. And not to mention, maybe after this episode I'll go out and I'll play some wiffle ball with Ian. But I want wings for dinner tonight, so I need to be, I want wings, watch the game, eat some wings. That's what I want to do. But I haven't really exercised because it was raining here today, and I don't want to break my streak. 10,000 steps at least since June 2nd. You got some comments? Anything funny?
Hard Talk versus Lucas Tigers beef is exactly what the hobby needs right now. Battle Royale for podcast supremacy.
Oh, come on. I mean, put Hulk Hogan in the ring against what? Like a
toddler.
Yeah. Come on now. Andrew's Ric Flair. Ric Flair doesn't wrestle the jobbers who just come in, to fill up the, before people are in the stands.
The thing is, they have very nice facilities. This other, they got their corner offices. They're one of the offices, when like you could see out, but people can't see in. I've always thought that's so intimidating. New York has that a lot, like the high rises,
tinted windows.
Yeah, and then on a diagonal too, like a diagonal down. So you can you can look at diagonal out there.
Meanwhile, my view is a brick wall. Hey now.
No, but and I love the alliances forming. So we had AIH on. Remember him?
Yes.
Him and Ziggy are now bestest of friends. And I think it's pretty hilarious. I got to give Ziggy some love. Ziggy's someone who calls it how it is in a lot of ways. He might go over the top, but I think it's because he truly cares about the hobby. And I would have never in a million years thought that there would be an alliance. And now they're like besties.
They remind me of the alliance that forms on the first day of Survivor and gets kicked off immediately. It's still an alliance, but I mean,
the first battle royale, I feel very confident that's a one-round battle royale. Ziggy and AIH is not an easy group. Like those guys, those are gritty. Those are gritty motherfuckers.
I mean, I talk to Ziggy every now and again. His most recent video, that was a little odd. About the champagne room. That was a little odd. I'll just say it was a little odd, Like, I'll lend you some product, maybe, Ziggy. I got enough, obviously.
Was he in a champagne room with R. Kelly?
No, he was in the champagne room by himself. It was his idea. Go ahead, go look. It's like a TikTok video that made its way on Instagram. I don't know. He's got an idea of breaking cards with hostesses and ladies and. But I couldn't. I had to play it again because I couldn't pay attention to what he was saying because his hair was like doing like this.
All right. Well, we're a sports card podcast.
In the video, like I want to break some cards in the champagne room.
Are you egging him on?
I am. Ziggy, I love you.
He's gonna call me and be very upset.
No, come on. He can text me. He has my cell phone number. I love you, Ziggy. I'm just giving you a hard time. And guys, check out his videos. I think what Andrew's saying is right. He does care about what I have no idea. No, he does care, about the hobby. And I think he tries to call it like it is. And I'm actually surprised more people don't watch his stuff. So it's one of the few things I watch. And yeah, I mean, because it's quick, like he'll do a video, he'll make fun of us. He'll say, I don't know how to ask questions and should follow up better. Every once in a while we make it into the videos, which is, that's a nice little surprise. I'm like, oh, let me watch these. He posted a new video. I see it on Twitter. And then we're in it. I'm like, what the hell is this? We're in the video. Anyway, whatever. It is what it is. So we got hockey finals, right? We got NBA finals. All right, you predicted Dubs in 6. I got that from you. I think Dubs in 6 is probably the right call. I'm hoping for Clay to show up. How about cards, man? By the time this airs, and a lot of people hear it, PWCC's auction, Liquid auction, that's going to end. You got Golden with several 7-figure auctions ending tonight. I think you kind of take a look at that and say, the death of the hobby has been greatly exaggerated. You know what I mean? There are just Mondo sales with crazy prices in a 3-4 day period here. The hobby looks
I love
pretty healthy.
John's post on this. Did you see this?
Yep, I saw it. Gotta tell people what it said.
Well, I mean, I can't always read all his stuff, but this one really hit. So he's talking about stocks compared to cards, more specifically like high-end collectible cards. If we're really being real, one of ones or one of 5, like very rare, something that if you sold, it's really difficult to get back. So with stocks, why you see this volatility and the sell-off, and it actually happens with base cards too. You sell because you know that at any point you could get that asset back, especially when it's something fungible like a stock. You could always get Amazon stock back. There's nothing that makes one Amazon stock more unique than the other. But when it comes to cards and art and things that if you sold, you know that more than likely you'd have to get it back for a higher amount, if at all. Those typically don't have the same volatility. Is it volatility or sell-off? I don't know the exact term, but because when someone's trying to sell it, they know, wait a second, if I let go of this card, if I let go of my Jordan Green or my Jordan Red or my Jordan Exquisite jersey number, more than likely I'm not going to be able to get it back. And that actually is healthy for the hobby. And I know the lower end stuff has come down, but I actually think the hobby's in a really good place. And I think that the hobby has a lot of money in it, whereas they're going to start looking maybe in a year or 2 years at buying some of these stocks for pennies on the dollar, at buying Bitcoin and crypto for pennies on the dollar, because I think some people's assets might actually appreciate or stay stagnant where everything else is down 30-40%. So I actually think the hobby is in a good place and not in a bad place.
I tend to agree, and obviously so do a lot of people with a lot of money. And the triple logo man's over $2 million on Golden. There are several huge items on PWCC ending tonight. The Steph Curry, I think, is over $500,000 for the RPA, the National Treasures. There's a Mahomes on there that's up over $400,000. There's millions of dollars being transacted on each of these platforms. So yeah, it's one of those things. And cards are setting record high prices on exactly the type you're talking about. Cards that will be difficult to buy for these prices down the road. People are making their bets on quarterbacks. Look what Mac Jones cards are selling for, right? Look at the Prism stuff. It's crazy. But people are making their bets. People think Mac Jones is going to be, the guy this year.
What I'm super curious about is what the seller's going to do with the money, right? Does he put it back into the hobby, or does he start buying? Because you guys can post your tabloids and all that stuff as much as you want. For someone who's educated and looking at Bitcoin and crypto or stocks and seeing them a third of what they used to be, it is tempting to start looking over there and saying, hey, maybe I should put a splash there.
Yeah. Oh, listen, that's diversification, but not a lot of people do that. And the hobby is one of those interesting places where the people in the hobby want to stay in the hobby. So I do think that money comes back in. Most people who are buying those cards now, they probably pulled them in breaks. They're probably breakers, and they're going to put a sizable chunk of that money back into breaking more. Because it's just like hitting a jackpot in a slot machine. You ever watch somebody in a casino hit a jackpot in a slot machine? They got to give their ID to the person. Do you know what they're doing while they're waiting for the cashier to come and pay them out?
They're playing again?
They're playing the machine next to it. That's what I do. And when they're done and they turn the key and the machine's back on, I'll put some of it right back in. It's the way it works.
Do you think people have sideload accounts? Like this is my money for cards. This is my money for stocks. This is my 401k. This is my crypto.
Everybody has a plan until they get punched in the mouth. So yes, I think people start that way. But you know what? Somebody like me who has crypto money and then a card comes available that they want to buy, all of a sudden that crypto money becomes card money. You know what I mean? And I guess that shouldn't happen because the card people don't want the crypto. They want to insult the crypto people. right? So I guess I shouldn't have taken my gains from crypto and put it back into cards to help those people. But whatever, it is what it is. I mean, maybe I'm the only one that's doing that. I doubt it.
I doubt it. Because it's so easy. It's so easy to park your money in crypto and then move it and buy. Anyway.
I paid gold in crypto.
It's any thoughts on alt? Kind of like the concept that they're rolling out. They've been a little quick, a huge hit, vault it, and then, for lack of a better word, fractionalize it, but through digital means.
I mean, Jeff was just doing NFTs of hits that breakers had.
Yes.
They didn't own the card.
Okay.
And they didn't have the card. They were just they weren't fractionalized. They were just selling NFTs of basically like the video clip of, hey, look at this big hit getting pulled.
Gotcha.
I believe what Alt's doing, and I'd rather have them on and have them explain it and the whole deal, but I believe what they're doing is they have their fund and they're selling fractional shares of the items that they own, the cards they actually own, right? So that you can come in and fractionalize that stuff. I think it's a little different. I don't know about the SEC regulation of it. I don't know if by doing it through an NFT, they're actually fractionalizing sort of like you can call it a derivative or, some sort of an offshoot of the card without actually selling shares of the asset itself.
Something that worries me about it, and it's what you brought up about the Babe Ruth. Remember when it was fractionalized 1%? They also have similar items, right? Like, I think they have a Steph Curry logo man. I think they have the Giannis logo man, all that. We haven't seen those for sale, and you're not going to really see any comps to that one for sale, right? So they could kind of set that price at not whatever, but within a range, and then fractionalize or sell off a small piece. And now they sort of can derive what their portfolio can value. Right. Now
it works two ways. They can get some liquidity out to use to buy other stuff, and you name it. With only, I mean, it's sort of like buying Google shares that don't have voting rights. You know what I mean? You're just going to be the minority owner in a card. But the other side, what you're talking about is they can sell a small amount of it, and that will then create a quote market value based on selling 1%, 2%, 5%, 10%, whatever of the asset. I don't know how much they're selling. I don't know if they're selling, small piece, large piece, how much is being retained. I honestly don't know. But it seems like that's what they're doing, which is very different than what, Jeff did, he was just selling NFTs of like video clips of like big hits and breaks. I like it. It's interesting. I will tell you, what I'd want to know about it is, we already know about Rally and Collectible, and guys obviously responsible by Collectible. We do a weekly show, so you throw that out there. One of the cool things that Collectible brings to the table and Rally brings to the table is that there is regulation there. It is one of the pockets of the hobby that does have regulation. It is less wild west than the rest of the hobby is, because they have to file with the SEC. They have to, put their offering plan out there. And it has to get approved. And, they have to talk about how they come up with the market price and all that other fun stuff. I don't know whether or not what Alt is doing has that layer to it. And I'd like to know that. I mean, I haven't researched it enough. I'll research it more if we're going to talk about it.
Well, they've been coy but I mean, I like the team there. I'll leave it at that. I like the team there a lot. AG is just a marketing whiz. So I like the team, and I do support what they're doing. Even though we're sponsored by PWCC.
AG got my joke on the Hal Newhouse card where you were like the eyes were popping out.
Super
and what's going on with this? I said, tell him Large Marge sent you. And she got it. She understood what that was from. That my Pee Wee Herman reference. Pee Wee's Big Adventure movie. I like it when people get our movie quotes. They're very obscure. You know what people like more than me doing movie quotes? Me doing movie quotes that go over your head.
Yeah.
People actually love that shit. I don't know why. Yeah. But they love that you got Back to the Future yesterday. I got so many comments about Andrew got Back to the Future. Yeah. It was so funny.
Oh, man.
See
the trials of an immigrant.
You're a winner. Back to the Future. You nailed it. Well, listen.
I watched Disney. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin. You could quote Aladdin to the end, and I love that movie.
All right. Aladdin's a good movie.
Aladdin's amazing.
And you like the Seven Dwarfs. Can you name the dwarfs?
Grumpy, Sleepy, Sappy.
No.
Snappy.
Blez.
Crappy. Blez.
No.
Grumpy, Sleepy.
Grumpy, sleepy.
Hungry.
No, there's no hungry.
Has to be a hungry. Why would they not make a hungry?
I thought you would just name all 7 and be happy, but this is even better. Hungry dwarf. Okay, all right. Where else you got?
I want to phone a friend.
Go ahead, phone a friend.
Yo, remember forget how to make a millionaire?
Yeah. Who wants to be a millionaire with Regis? Phone a friend. I want to phone a friend. You want to phone a child? Come on, man. Happy?
How to make a millionaire? Like How I Met Your Mother and how to become a millionaire. I'm literally effed up. Like I have my circuits don't hit.
I'll give you the 2 hard ones that people forget because they don't end in Y.
Bashful.
Nice. And glasses.
No one even knows what that word means.
Doc.
And glasses.
Everybody forgets Doc.
Doc.
You got Doc and Bashful. You've got Dopey,
Grumpy,
Sneezy.
hungry, sleepy.
There's no hungry.
Am I just hungry? I
think you're just hungry. I think that's what it is. There's no hungry dwarf, dude.
Do you know I haven't eaten at all today? I just run on coffee and water. And it's I drink liquid IV now, which is like this like little electrolyte packet. That's kind of fire.
You need some of this.
It's a hunger quencher.
You need a little Coke Zero.
How's your weight loss coming?
Good,
no,
man.
How's your healthy living coming?
It's good. I gotta walk today. Maybe I started putting some weights in because you told me to, so I'm starting to do a little weight lifting. You know, I got some dumbbells. No, not you. Other dumbbells. I got some dumbbells, 25 pounders. You know, I do a little little weightlifting over here. And you know, I'm trying to be good, man. I'm trying to be good. I wanted to lose 50 pounds before national. That was the goal I put out there for everybody on April 24th.
Is that realistic?
May, June, July. It was the 3 months to lose 50 pounds. Is it realistic? I'm close to 40. I've lost 30-something pounds already. So, yeah, I think it's realistic 100%. Yeah. It won't make me thin. I'll still look fat. But I had really blimped up. I had done like a Chris Farley, build up there in the winter. So a little hibernation, a little 5-pound bags of Swedish fish hidden around the house, a little Twinkie. I got bear claws.
That whole
2 at a time.
You know, all the Farleys were comedians, Cage?
No, that's cool. I didn't know there was any other Farley but him.
Yeah,
well,
brothers.
Obviously, none of the other ones were funny at all because I never heard of him.
Maybe he was just so funny that you haven't heard of him.
That makes no sense. But I like it. You're contributing. Maybe they were so funny I haven't heard of them.
I have so many cards on my desk at all times now, Cage.
That's it, man. Rupee, just do some cards. Just throw some cards out there. That's the key. All right, man. Well, listen, we don't need to belabor the point here. You know what the golden rule is, right?
Do unto others as you want others to do unto you.
Who has the gold makes the rules.
Interesting. That's why when Napoleon would storm, which, by the way, I have a fun fact.
By the way, that's a line from Aladdin. You told me to quote Aladdin.
Anyway, so Napoleon was taking over land in Europe, and then he went to fight in Russia, and they made progress.
He is too portly to be Napoleon.
Yes, but then he got withdrawn all the way back to France.
Waterloo,
right?
The Battle of Waterloo.
Amazing, right? He got withdrawn all the way back to France by the Russians. So Russians owned that territory. They conquered that territory, and they would sit in cafes, and in Russian, the word for faster is bystra. Bystra. So the name bistro came from the Russian word bystra, faster, fast restaurants.
Or bistros.
Bistros, fast restaurants.
I mean, this episode is now worth its weight in gold. I love it. I learned something. I learned where the bistro came from, which is pretty awesome. I would never have thought that's where it was from. But if you were Napoleon and you were stuck in San Dimas for one day, where would you go? Waterloo. Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah, they went back in time. They grabbed they grab Napoleon and they take him to an ice cream place, and he eats a whole big ice cream, like multi-scoop ice cream. And
Ben
he's
and
like, never
Jerry's?
had ice cream before. No, it was just like, one of these places where you eat like a whole thing. It was called we'll take it back. It's called the Ziggy Piggy. Ziggy
No.
Piggy, Ziggy Piggy,
No
Ziggy
way.
Piggy. And
You're
that's
messing.
another episode, the Ziggy Piggy.
So thank you all for listening to another episode of Lucas, Tigers, and Bronzo My. I wanted to tell you about a new service that we have starting as of today, and I'm really, really excited to bring it to you guys. So as a part of our partnership with SGC, we got 50 free submissions every single month, and many of you have taken advantage of that. And it's amazing that we could have the opportunity to 650 episodes, 675 episodes in, to go ahead and give back to our community. As people were sending those cards in, they asked, can we send 5, 10, 20 more cards to you guys? We'll pay for it, but we wanted them graded with SGC. You guys know SGC is turning cards around in 13 to 14 business days, have incredible customer service, and their secondary market values are going up day after day after day. And that's exciting for the hobby and exciting for the grading landscape. So we didn't want to just rush into it. We wanted to do it right. And what we did was I relocated here to Boca Raton, Florida. I opened up a P.O. box maybe 5 minutes away from SGC, and I will be hand delivering and hand picking up the cards. So you don't have to worry about anyone else touching your cards. It will be me, and I will update you every step of the way. So here's how it's going to work. I'm going to personally pick up the cards from a P.O. box, prep them, new card saver, new penny sleeve, and deliver them to SGC every single Tuesday. Why Tuesday? Well, it lets the stragglers over the weekend come back through on Monday and gives me a day to prep, and it basically gives SGC the entire week to work on grading those cards. Once your cards pop, only then at the end of the process will you be paying for the service. It's $25 per card, simple as that, and the turnaround times have never been faster. We're hearing right now 13, 14, less than 20 business days. So there it is. 9170 Glades Road, number 135 is the P.O. Box in Boca Raton, Florida, 33434. 9170 Glades Road, number 135, Boca Raton, Florida, 33434. Of course, you could shoot me an email or shoot me a text anytime, and I'm always available. Many of you already have my email. It's iamandrewgoldberg@gmail.com. or my cell phone number, 215-519-9154. Reach out with any questions. I could walk you through the process. I've hopped on the call with quite a few of you, and I'm happy to do that. Love you, Luca Nation.